The Southport scandal is exploding onto the political scene with the force of a bombshell, one that could bring Starmer's leadership crashing down. For months, whispers about corruption and cover-ups have circulated, but now investigative journalist Isabel Oakeshott has uncovered shocking new secrets that threaten to unravel everything Starmer and Labour have worked to build. A scandal so deep, so full of lies and betrayal, it might just signal the end of Starmer's career. Will he resign, or will this be another scandal that Labour tries to sweep under the rug? In the heart of Southport, a political storm is brewing, and Keir Starmer's leadership is at its very centre. What was once a promising initiative to reinvest in one of Britain's struggling communities has now become a massive scandal that threatens to bring down Labour's leader. Millions of pounds intended for public projects, infrastructure improvements, and revitalising local businesses have mysteriously disappeared, leaving a trail of broken promises and unanswered questions. This is no minor issue, it's a full-scale crisis, one that could spell the end of Starmer's career. At the forefront of this scandal is Isabel Oakeshott, a seasoned investigative journalist who has never shied away from exposing corruption and cover-ups. Oakeshott's latest revelations are nothing short of explosive. For weeks, whispers about financial mismanagement in Southport were dismissed as unfounded rumors. But now, those whispers have grown into a full-blown scandal, shaking the foundations of the Labour Party. Her latest expose suggests that Keir Starmer, the man who promised transparency and integrity, might have been fully aware of the financial mismanagement in Southport and worse, that he may have actively participated in covering it up. This is a scandal of epic proportions, one that could define the future of British politics. If these allegations prove true, it would not just be a betrayal of trust, it would be a betrayal of the very people Labour claims to represent. The people of Southport, who were promised a brighter future, have instead been left with nothing but empty promises and a broken political system. The missing funds were supposed to revitalise schools, improve roads, and bring jobs to the area. But instead of seeing progress, residents have watched as their hopes for a better future vanish along with millions of pounds in taxpayer money. For Starmer, this is a nightmare scenario. His leadership is already under scrutiny, and now, with Oakeshott's revelations, the pressure is building to an unbearable level. How long can he withstand the growing calls for his resignation? How long before the public loses all faith in his ability to lead? Oakeshott's investigation reveals not just financial corruption, but a wider culture of secrecy within the Labour Party. Whistleblowers who have tried to speak out about the scandal have reportedly been silenced, their voices hushed by those in power, desperate to protect their image at all costs. This isn't just about missing money, it's about a systemic problem within Labour's leadership, one that, if left unchecked, could destroy the party from the inside out. But the most damning revelation of all is that Starmer himself may have known about the scandal long before it broke. If the allegations are true, it would mean that Starmer was complicit in covering up a massive financial mismanagement operation, allowing it to fester and grow until it reached a crisis point. The public will not forgive him for that. Once the truth comes out, the calls for his resignation will be deafening. As the Southport scandal continues to unfold, the pressure on Keir Starmer is mounting. His leadership, once seen as a beacon of hope for Labour, is now under intense scrutiny. As the Southport scandal gains momentum, new layers of deceit and corruption are being uncovered with each passing day. Isabel Oakeshott's investigation has brought to light disturbing details that not only paint a picture of financial mismanagement, but also expose a deliberate and coordinated cover-up that stretches all the way to the top of Labour's leadership. This isn't simply an instance of terrible administration or ineffectively dealt with projects, it's a determined endeavour to conceal reality and safeguard individuals dependable no matter what. Also, at the actual focus, all things considered, Keir Starmer's name is currently attached to these stunning disclosures. Reports recommend that great many pounds designated for public ventures in Southport were misused, and on second thought of streaming into foundation, schools, and neighbourhood organisations, the cash appears to have disappeared like a phantom. The assets, which should revive the region and make occupations for battling families, have left inhabitants baffled and furious. In any case, what's more awful is that those in control, including individuals from work's internal circle, are blamed for effectively hiding reality. As Oakeshott's examination uncovers, the people who thought for even a second to stand up were quieted. Their endeavors to uncover the reality of the situation were met with terrorizing and dangers. At the core of these charges is the upsetting case that Keir Starmer himself might have been completely mindful of the outrage some time before it arrived at the public eye. If valid, this would address a devastating disappointment of initiative, one that could subvert all that Starmer has attempted to accomplish. His obligation to straightforwardness and responsibility is currently in serious inquiry. In the event that he had some awareness of the monetary fumble nevertheless neglected to act, it would be a double-crossing of individuals who confided in him to lead with honesty. For some, this is a snapshot of retribution. In interviews, Oakeshott has ventured to such an extreme as to propose that Works Authority effectively stifled data about the outrage. Key figures inside the party, including Starmer, are claimed to have intentionally abstained from tending to the mounting proof of defilement, picking rather to safeguard their political picture. As Oakeshott uncovered, inner correspondences uncover that people with great influence were mindful of the issues as well as may have been complicit in endeavors to cover them up. With each new piece of proof that arises, the embarrassment just extends, and Starmer's inclusion becomes more diligently to overlook. The concealment purportedly started when murmurs of monetary bungle previously surfaced. Rather than sending off a straightforward examination and considering those dependable responsible, Works Initiative is said to have chosen to contain the issue, trusting it would blow over. MPs and informants who attempted to raise the caution were supposedly undermined and quieted. The media was taken care of obscure consolations intended to control public worry, while individuals of Southport were left in obscurity, their expectations for a superior future ran. The gravity of the allegations against Starmer cannot be overstated. If the claims of a cover-up are true, it would mean that the leader of the Labour Party deliberately allowed corruption to flourish within his own ranks. This would represent a profound betrayal of trust, not just towards Labour supporters, but to the British public as a whole. Trust in politicians is already at an all-time low, and this scandal threatens to send that trust plummeting even further. In politics, there's nothing more damaging than being caught in a lie, and if Starmer is found to have been complicit in the Southport scandal, his credibility will be destroyed. The question now is not just whether Starmer will resign, but whether the Labour Party can survive this scandal. If Starmer remains in power, it will be seen as an endorsement of the very corruption he is accused of enabling. On the other hand, if he steps down, it could be the beginning of a new chapter for Labour, one that may require a complete overhaul of its leadership. Either way, the fallout from this scandal will reverberate through British politics for years to come. As the Southport scandal unravels, the pressure on Keir Starmer intensifies, and the Labour Party finds itself at a crossroads. The once unified party is now fractured, with factions within its ranks demanding accountability and calling for leadership change. This scandal has exposed not only a deep corruption problem but also a profound leadership crisis within Labour. Public trust in Starmer and his party is eroding at a rapid pace. Voters who once believed in his vision for a fairer, more transparent Britain are now questioning whether they were sold a lie. The promises of rebuilding Southport and revitalizing working-class communities have turned into a nightmare for those who had hoped for real change. The missing millions were meant to provide hope for struggling families, yet they've become the symbol of betrayal. Labour's response to the scandal has been anything but reassuring. Instead of addressing the issue head-on, party officials have doubled down on secrecy, hoping the storm will pass. The silence from Starmer and his closest allies is deafening. Rather than taking ownership of the issue and offering transparency, they've opted for damage control, hoping the public will forget the gravity of the allegations. But as more details emerge, it's clear that this strategy is only making things worse. The growing backlash is not limited to the public. Within Labour, senior MPs are reportedly growing increasingly restless, questioning Starmer's ability to lead the party out of this crisis. Calls for an emergency leadership meeting have become louder, with some demanding Starmer's resignation before the situation spirals further out of control. The sense of betrayal among Labour's own ranks is palpable, as many feel that Starmer's handling of the Southport scandal has been nothing short of disastrous. The growing dissent within the party suggests that the pressure on Starmer is not just coming from the public or the media, but from within his own party. This is a critical moment for Labour. The decisions made in the coming days will determine whether the party can salvage any semblance of credibility or if it will collapse under the weight of its own corruption. The future of Labour and Starmer's political career hangs in the balance. The shocking allegations that have surfaced are not just about financial mismanagement, but a concerted effort to cover up the truth. The narrative emerging suggests that Keir Starmer was not only aware of the situation but may have been complicit in hiding the full extent of the scandal. Isabel Oakeshott's investigative work has uncovered damning evidence pointing directly to the Labour leadership's attempts to suppress crucial information. Reports suggest that internal emails, once thought to be secure, have surfaced showing that Starmer and his team knew about the missing funds for weeks, if not months, before the story was made public. Despite this knowledge, the party chose to remain silent, hoping the matter would go away. But the truth has a way of coming out, and when it does, it leaves nothing but a trail of destruction in its wake. Whistleblowers within Labour who had tried to alert the public to the crisis were reportedly silenced through intimidation. Some claim they were told directly by party officials to keep quiet or face the consequences. This behavior has fueled the growing suspicion that Starmer and his inner circle are hiding something much larger. If these claims are proven true, it will not only tarnish Starmer's leadership but may well signal the beginning of the end for his political career. Isabel Oakeshott has played a pivotal role in bringing these dark secrets into the light. Her fearless reporting has uncovered not just the scale of the financial scandal, but the lengths to which Labour has gone to protect its image. For Starmer, this is a nightmare scenario. Not only is his leadership under attack, but his credibility is being torn apart as the public sees through the veil of lies and deceit. The most troubling question now is whether Starmer will be held accountable for his role in this cover-up. The public, fed up with the lack of transparency, demands answers. If it turns out that Starmer knowingly allowed this corruption to continue, his resignation may be the only option left. The question now isn't whether the Southport scandal will ruin Starmer's career, but whether he has the integrity to face the music or if the party will be forced to act before it's too late. As the Southport scandal continues to unfold, the question on everyone's mind is whether Keir Starmer will do the right thing and step down, or whether he will cling to power at all costs, further tarnishing his legacy. The weight of the allegations is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Starmer's silence, his inability to confront the scandal head-on, has only fueled public distrust. If Labour is to have any hope of salvaging its reputation, it may require a change at the top. There's no denying that Starmer's leadership has already been deeply damaged. The public perception of him as a figure of integrity and change has been shattered. The Southport scandal, an issue so deeply tied to corruption and betrayal, is proving to be a political grenade with the power to end careers. If Starmer cannot restore faith in his leadership, the Labour Party may find itself in an even more precarious position than it was before he assumed control. The question is no longer whether he can weather the storm, it's whether he can live with the knowledge that his actions, whether intentional or not, have caused irreparable harm to the party he promised to rebuild. The silence, the secrecy, the cover-up, these aren't just administrative failures, they are political sins that cannot be ignored. The public demands accountability, and the pressure on Starmer to resign is mounting. Even within the Labour Party, the discontent is palpable. Senior members, once staunch supporters of Starmer, are now questioning whether his continued leadership is in the party's best interest. Labour risks losing everything: its supporters, its credibility, and its chance at real political change if it doesn't take swift action to distance itself from the scandal. The longer Starmer holds on to power, the more Labour risks alienating its base and falling into irrelevance. The Southport scandal represents a pivotal moment, not only for Keir Starmer but for the entire Labour Party. Whether Starmer resigns or attempts to ride out the storm, one thing is certain: this is the end of the political world as we know it for him. The future of the party will depend on how it navigates this crisis. For Starmer, the final reckoning has arrived. The question now is whether he has the courage to step aside before it's too late, or whether he will drag the party down with him. Share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to our channel for more UK news. Thank you.